very special edition of the Smoking Day. I'm your host today, Smoky Dan, and this is Nish Patel from Nish Patel. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Smoky Dan, it's always a pleasure. I'm excited to be here.
Oh man, I know our viewers are too. We're at the Old Havana Cigar Store in beautiful Westchester, Pennsylvania. Come on down if you're nearby. So Nish, how did you get into cigars?
You know, it was many, many years ago. It was about 25 years ago. Actually more than that, about 30 years ago. I'm aging myself now.
Oh my
I was
God.
in London, England. Actually in Wimbledon Village.
I won't tell anyone.
That's all right. Yeah, well, just keep that to yourselves, all the million listeners out there. And it was actually a Cuban cigar. That was my first cigar that I had. And, you know, I didn't know what cigars were, and it was all right. It was a Cuban, you know. And since then, my palate's developed, and I tell you what, the cigars coming out of the Dominican Republic, Nicaragua, Honduras, Costa Rica, phenomenal cigars. And the more I got into it, the palate changed, and I just learned, and I'm going, why is everybody smoking Cuban? And there's so many great blends out there by manufacturers that help you get these great cigars here.
I could not agree more. Honestly, I mean, I think a great Cuban cigar is a special cigar, but for every great Cuban cigar you get a cigar that's not nearly as good as something from Nicaragua or the GR.
Correct, absolutely.
Now, Arne, obviously we're at Rocky Patel event, and there's just a smorgasbord of cigars here. You're starting at this display. Honestly, I've never seen a lot of these cigars before. So what's new? What's going on with Rocky Patel right now?
You know, one thing about my brother, he's always trying to come up with the perfect blend.
Okay.
And we go through a process of blending that's outrageous. I mean, the show coming up this year, we're smoking close to 56 different blends, you know, and we're tweaking it. I mean, some of these cigars took him 5 years to blend because you got to age them, it changes, tobacco changes, fermentation, everything else. But I tell you what, it's a passionate industry, and if you're passionate about cigars, you guys, check out the Rocky Patels. People go, why do you have so many? Well, guess what? You could be a Miller Lite drinker, you could be a Guinness drinker. It doesn't say either one's bad, but you have different taste profiles. That's what we try and do with cigars. In fact, this just made my day.
Don't mind if I do.
I got frozen.
You're in my house, you drink Crown Royal.
Love it. Love it. Thank you very much.
Sorry, man, I would have got you one. There's plenty back here.
All right, I'll get some after the interview. Thank you. But not really. I didn't get any. Anyway, so of all the, now actually before I ask that, I understand a couple of the cigars here are your particular blend.
Correct. I did help, you know, Rocky's the master blender. And he takes a lot of our inputs. But he told me the first one was the Zen.
Okay.
And I'm more a medium full-bodied guy. And he goes, I want you to blend a Connecticut. I go, are you freaking kidding me? You know, how can I sell something that I don't smoke? So I went down to the factory and came up with a way to box press a Connecticut, which had never been done before. Then I put 2 leaves of Ligero, which is the top part of the plant with a lot of flavor. So it's not a mild Connecticut. I call it a Connecticut with an attitude.
Okay.
It's a Connecticut that's got some sweet spice, some cedar notes, but a ton of flavor. So I go, now I can sell that cigar because I can smoke that cigar and I love it. So that was my first foray.
Okay.
Then I came out with the Bold, which actually I've been working on for 5 years. It's got a beautiful Connecticut broadleaf wrapper on it. It's got 2 binders, a San Andreas Mexican binder and a Connecticut shade binder. And it's a double Ligero from Nicaragua. That cigar, 15th anniversary used to be my favorite, now the Bold is. It really is a delicious cigar, and it's got a lot of different flavor profiles to it.
Really? Because I'll tell you, I'm looking forward to that because currently my favorite cigar is the 15.
Okay.
I love that cigar. I recently reviewed it on my blog. Check it out. Got excellent, excellent review.
I tell you what, that used to be my favorite, and Mark, who's holding the camera right now, he knows. If I traveled with any of these guys, they always had to have a box of 15s with them. But now,
Very
I
true.
go with Bold, Royale, 15, and MED are my 4 go-tos right now.
Okay. Is that your favorite cigar out of all of these?
Right now, yes it is. But you know, cigars are funny.
Yeah.
It's like, depending on what time of day it is, who I'm smoking with, where I am, it all changes.
Yeah, I'm completely with you on that. Personally, I like a milder cigar in the morning, and then,
Right.
you know, as I smoke more and more, I like to get into the more full body and stuff by the end of the day.
You know, when I'm at the office or home, I do the same thing. But when I'm on the road, it seems like I'm doing something full in the morning. It's probably because I still have alcohol from the night before.
Oh man, I think that's words of wisdom right there. I am going to ask you one last question.
Okay.
And this is something that I'm curious about. With wines, you get certain vintages that are better than other vintages because of the climate, the soil, the rain. Does that affect the different? Does that affect at all the stages of the tobacco?
You know what? Weather has a lot to do with it. In wine, year to year, you expect the vintage to change. In cigars, they don't. So it's a long process. It's the way we do our primings of our cigars, trying to make it consistent, because tobacco from the rainy season is going to taste different than the tobacco from the summer season.
Okay.
So it's a big process.
Well, thank you so much for
You
coming
got
on the
it.
show. Really appreciate it.
Done with this.
All right. We'll see you for the next review.